Times of the Middle Ages. The sun is shining, birds singing, people talking about their thoughts. What a wonderful time to be alive! Hey, we raided by barbarians, which I mean Vikings. And also you're dying of dysentery. This is probably not my day. It's the year 900-ish. It was a Viking's wet dream. Raids galore. Hey bro, let's go and raid Paris. Sounds good to me. Okay, let's go. That particular raid doesn't go too well. And this is what the king of the Franks says. Hey, you guys are quite tough and scary. How about I give you land in North France, and by the result, protect us from other Vikings? Sounds great to me. So they set up a duchy around that today called as the territory of Normandy, which these people will later called as Norma. And from this particular land of Normandy, they learn a lot of stuff. Eventually converted to Christianity, learned the language that might be turned to something like c'est bonjour, 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 bonjour. I said bonjour, but I say bonjour. I mean bonjour. But I also say bonjour. I mean bonjour. And also make kids with the locals. Okay, so French eventually found its way with its Viking problems. But England has its own Viking problems. For a long time, the part of island of England was cut in between between some really big chunks of Vikings, until they kicked out from England. But that left a lot of Viking settlers. And then this guy was king. I don't know what that name is, but whatever it is, he sucks. Replaced with his brother. And then he go to a woman and says, hello, what you doing? And have a son. Go to another girl and do something, and was again also have a son. But then he died. And no one know which one to become the king. This one is because he's older. Now if I kill it, that works for us too. Why you look at me like that? So this guy was a king, and now he's married to a Norman and has some kids. And kids indeed. Remember Edward, he is really important. Eventually, one day he would just only walk around until some people came to him and says, hey bro, all those Viking settlers that were here, they might band together and kill you. Then why not we kill them first? Sir, you're a genius. So they do a lot of massacrings. And some Viking dudes go to the Danish king and says, hey Danish king, what's wrong? Hey, England literally massacring a lot of Vikings. What? This is madness! Who does this guy think he is? I am the Vikings. He can't do this to us. Oh, that's it. Let's conquer them. Long story but short, this pissed off the Danish king. So the Danish king came to one of his colleagues and says, hey bro, kill them all. Okay. So they came in and conquered England once again. And then the Englands unconquer it. And then the Vikings reconquer it. The king died in the process. So the royal family go on an exile to the lands of the Normans. Remember Edward? He grew up in the lands of the Normans, and he and his brother Alfred. So they land in the land of England, and then meet a guy named Godwin, which is eventually the Earl of Wessex. But then he betray the odds like this. Oh hey Alfred, we and everyone already set up in the noble families and to make you king. Oh no, red hot poker in the eyes. Ah! Hot! 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 I can't see! Unless you can't be king. Ha ha! You can't be king! Screw you guys! Hey! Hi! No! Eventually, he was in the morning, bringing his body back into the exile, and eventually waited. And eventually waiting, the kings have no heirs. Eventually, there's a one king died, but and then he has some kids and become the next king. But and then he died. Eventually, until another king again came, finally died with no male heirs. And this is eventually the chance of Edward. So he come back. And after some violent times, so finally, England has fallen to the hands of Edward. But before we are talking about the Battle of Hasting, we want to know how to become king in the times of the medievals. So first, you must get the whole support of your people. If not all of those people were supporting you, then you'll probably end in the coup. And from this, Edward must to get the support of someone so he doesn't been couped. Who is that guy? Hello, Edward. How long is it? Oh, come on. It's the guy that gave me the red hot poker in the eyes. So, what is going Exile! Before, Godwin was put into an exile. But in some really interesting times, he was put back to the royal family. Eventually, Edward married with Godwin's daughter. But then Godwin died. Then he has 3 kids that which all of them become earls. Which one of those earls are Harold Godwinson. He was a genius kind of guy, and was also a guy that showed his loyalty by eventually defeating the people in Wales. And he was also one of the closest advisors to Edward. And at many ways, he was something like a co-king. Uh-oh. Edward died on his deathbed, and now Harold Godwinson has the big chances of becoming a king. Now, for some religious reasons, or it's because he eventually don't like his wife, he doesn't appoint her, which by the result doesn't have any male heirs. That means I gotta be the new king of England. He still have a nephew though, it might be him. Let's just go with me. But before we think Harold Godwinson will be the person that becomes the male heirs, we must to know a guy. That this guy spent his childhood at Normandy. His mom was in Normandy, and he does have a lot of Norman friends. Now, the Duke of Norman was William the Bastard. Why he's called as the Bastards? One day, his dad sneaked through his palace, and then some people see him and says, "Where do you think you're going, Duke?" To the tanner shop? Tanner shop? For what? To get a tan. And that was a lie. Well, it's because tanner give you leathers, not tans. And he actually really want to meet the tanner shop's daughter. Things lead to another. And 9 months later, this has happened. Sir, a woman is looking for you. Huh? Why? Well, you gotta came to him, sir, first. To her, sir. Okay. Wait, what are you doing here? Hey, this is your son. My son? Well, as weird as it sounds, yes. Yep, you get it. Born out of wedlock, unless an absolute bastard. Eventually, his dad died when he was a child. So he spent his childhood avoiding assassinations and becoming a duke. And he is also a little bit barbaric. One day, some people in the city of Alisson revolted to him and doing some beatings of some leathers for some insult against her mom. He was so furious that the punishment for all those rebellions are, well, let's say, not pretty. And also he do this. You know what this means. Edward and William the Bastard were great chums. And say something like, Hey, when I die, I promise you will be the next king of England. He even said that in some multiple times. So when he hears the news that Edward was on his deathbed, he's like, hooray, I'm gonna be the new king. So now we got two figurines, strong figurines, that think these guys will be the next king. Wait, what? This guy is the king of Norway, and his name is Harald Hardrada. He will be in the sights of everyone that was eventually giving him the most golds. And wherever you say the places, he was there. Estonia, yup. Sicily, yup. Bulgaria's also yes. Holy Land, Sicily and Bulgaria, yup. Even become one of the dudes that have to do something with the Munziger dudes and the Byzantines. Had a lot of stuff. Now he was completely rich and swimming with gold. And then he come back to Norway and crowned king. Some previous Norwegian dudes, kings, says to him when he was still traveling the world like this, oh, if that king died, then he will take the throne. Because of this, now he was held into England's throne. And he was eager to go for the last major conquest that will turn him to a legend. After that king dead, I will invade England, and then I'm gonna be king. So now we got some three figurines that think they will be the next king, and that means someone will be hurt. At first, Harald Hardrada agreed of turning William to be the next king, even promised him with some holy relics. That probably happened because William kept his hostage, their family as his hostage. But then suddenly, now he was the king of England. Usually there's need a lot of reparations for turning a guy as a king, but Hart rushed it, and he became the king of the Englands just the time after Edward was buried. Oh, what? This is madness! What does this guy think he is? He already promised me over some holy relics, and turns up he just betrayed me. Send some envoys to them that he's still the throne, and he must give it to me right now. Okay. So the envoys are sent to go to England, and then they says, the throne is literally going to William, and now you steal the throne, and you must give it back. Let me think about that. No. He says no. Oh, that total clusters of total bastards. Wait a second, I thought you're the bastard. Dude! Uncool. Give me your eyes! No! Give me your eyes and let me eat it! No! Sir, don't be like this. You want me to eat your eyes? But no. You both are fired. So William set up for some plans. Okay guys, there are some plans. First we will get to the English Channel, get to London, and then kill Harold Godwinson. Sir, you must think about that one, is because he's already the king. Now, in the old time Europe, killing a king was not really a thing that everyone wanted to do. It's because they believed that God already chosen them, so it's a little bit of a thing if you want to kill it. For this campaign to go on, William need the blessings of the Pope. So he go on a trip like, hey, Hart Godwinson literally promised me I'm the king over holy relics, and then he stole the throne. Can I kill him? Yeah, sure, why not? Okay, so now it's already got the blessings of the Pope. Just one problem. The wind. It's blowing the wrong way. Eventually, he set up for his superior armies in the beaches of Normandy. And Godwinson, with his armies, waiting in the edges of England, then eventually waited, and waited, and waited, and waited, and waited, and waited, and waited. And then William said, screw it! He didn't go on a boat. He didn't get a shipwreck. It's because it's going the wrong way. So he come back waiting. Literally 9 months they waiting for the wind to change, but it doesn't change. And then Godwinson and his armies hungry and bored, so they come back. What can William do is just waiting. Well, the wind blows William out from Normandy. The wind guided Harald Hardrada and his Vikings armies into England. They eventually land in the city of Scarborough and then York, and then defeated the superior England army in the Battle of Fool's Fork. Harold Godwinson must feel upset of this. It's because he must arrange the armies all over again. They eventually meet each other in the battles of Stamford Bridge. Eventually, one Viking came to him and dodging every kind of England armies. That eventually happened until one England guy go under the bridge and poke him under jewels. And enough for them to make some shield walls. But it's because England's superiority is at some armors, and also the Vikings are caught off guard. They don't wear their chainmails and armors. So they eventually defeated the Vikings and defeated Hardrada in the process and killed him off, which eventually marked the end of the Vikings in England. Sir, it's starting in the outside. Finally! He set up a huge voynich all over the English Channel, land in Brighton, and make some camps around Hastings. Eventually, Harold Godwinson tried to wake him up, but William burned some villages to force him up. So he set up for some armies. Eventually, he was on top of a hill and decided to stay there because that's the great positions. But Godwinson was almost freaked out by seeing William's really superior numbers. And the Normans have some advantages here. First are the archers. They throw volley after volleys to the England sides, and many of them are died. And after that, he set up a full assault. Eventually, the war broke fiercely, but the Normans must have retreated back. It's because that's too long in there. Harald Hardrada's strategy is literally waiting them to exhaust and to feed them up. So they retreat using the cavalries, but they even struggle to get inside the shield walls. Many casualties break in until something that confused someone that was eventually someone thought that it was William that died. Or that was a deceived tactic. So they retreated. And Harold Godwinson break his shield walls and invade back. Eventually the war breaks fiercely. Eventually a popular source that says Harold Hardrada died because an arrow got his eyes. Just like what his dad did. So now, William was the new supreme power of the Englands. Sim doesn't support him. Easy. Burn them. And then some dudes are doing some supportings, but he thought it was a lie, so he burned them off. He must do some series of burnings until it finally unified. Now there's a lot of stuff that was burned by him, but one of them was that he was known as William the Conqueror, and also the England dialect. When he came there and invade, he also bring French dialects. And since they are the person that was in charge, the words that must to do with the government, like government, castle, and judge, came from the Normans. When an Anglo-Saxons get inside a room, coming into a room, Normans enter a chamber. And lots of words were romanticized. And when Anglo-Saxons make some sheep, and pigs, one served in a Norman plate can become beef, moat, and pork. And also AR more sounds like an A, O in the Normans. That's why you live in a home. not a ham. Anglo-Saxons bought themselves some t-shirts, since Normans bought themselves blouse. The clothes of Normans are absolutely beautiful. Anglo-Saxons are not friends with Normans, and Normans were unamiable with the Anglo-Saxons. You see what all these gets? So, and some words like where, what in Anglo-Saxons romanticized to be where, when, and what. So if this guy never really invade England, I will speak a really different English here. So it will be really more difficult to study English. So what we learn in this video is the literators of English, the origin of English language.